Podcast with Julie Riga. Julie, how are you? And I know you're excited about our guest.
I'm super excited, and it's a great day to be alive, Neil.
Yeah.
Who's our
Shall
guest
I?
today? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Today we have Carol Metz Murray. She's an accomplished narrative executive coach and founder of the Naked Leadership Institute, specializing in helping leaders discover and embrace authentic self leadership with a focus on guiding leaders to lead themselves before they lead others. Carol empowers individuals to step into their full potential with confidence, courage, and clarity. Welcome, Carol, to the Stay on Course podcast.
Well, I'm delighted to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me on this wonderful day. And yes, it is great to be alive.
It's great. It's great. Carol, before I get started, I ask all of my guests a very important question. What is your favorite food?
Homemade cinnamon buns.
Oh, homemade
Mm,
cinnamon buns.
making me hungry
Uh-huh.
at this time of night. Come on now.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine with the homemade, but
That's ready for Thanksgiving, it sounds like. Where you're dying.
Come on over and we'll have cinnamon buns.
All right. Sounds great.
that sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. So today we're going to get right into talking about the ingredients for success for naked leadership. We have to hear about this naked leadership thing, a little bit about it, because it kind of shocks you when you hear about that, Carol.
And I know it has a shock factor to it. And that's really what naked leadership is all about, is bringing that shock factor out. And people go, naked leadership? And there is a qualifier. You get to keep your clothes on because, yes, you do. Naked leadership is all about an inside job. It's the intrinsic part of who you are as that special person. And it's all about bringing out who you are, like really stepping into you, being bold and audacious and full of courage, and speaking up and speaking your mind and learning to lead you first so that, yes, others will follow you and you be the leader that you would like to follow. So that's naked leadership.
I love that. It's a really good title, but you get to keep your clothes on.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It could be
Perfect.
disappointing, but
But I think it's important to understand when you're a leader that you have to take on so many other roles of everybody in your organization. That's where you mean the whole nakedness factor, that you pretty much have to humble yourself, become not, even though you've led yourself to that leadership, you don't want to exude that to your team, or they're going to find it horrible in a way, right? Just
absolutely, Neil, because quite frankly, it, as the leader in an organization, in a business, how you show up is really how the business will be and how everyone else will be. So getting naked on the inside really helps the business on the outside.
mhm.
I love that. And it is about an authentic journey, having that self-awareness. And sometimes that feels like a very vulnerable position to be in. So I love the name. It's totally in vibe with all the things that we talk about here on the Stay on Course podcast. But let's get right into the three ingredients for success. What's the first ingredient, Carol?
The very first ingredient is decisive action. Like make a decision. Make a decision that you're going to be a leader. Make a decision that you're going to step into discovering who you are as that leader. As Matt Damien has said in the movie, I Just Bought a Zoo, all it takes is 20 seconds of insane courage, which is the second step of making that decision and make it happen. And I know from experience that, quite frankly, that's all it took for me to make a decision to step into that journey to find my own naked leadership. So yes, it's decisive action. That can be used in anything you're doing.
Yeah.
Even if you have a task you don't want to be doing, make a decision to do it now and move forward.
Yeah. A lot of times we get into this whole feelings situation and we stop ourselves from doing things, and especially as entrepreneurs. I've been talking about this a lot, is that there are things that we do not want to do as leaders of our own businesses, especially when you have a smaller company. There's a lot of things that you have to do yourself. And how long do we ignore those things that we don't want to do? But it's really about making the decision to do the thing that you don't want to do. Neil, is there anything you don't want to be doing?
I mean, you really learn things in time about business and leadership and decision making and what you should do and what you shouldn't do and what kind of business you want. I think that I have struggled always to look at other people and say, I want to compete in that area and not know exactly what I want to do. And people have told me, you should do this, you should do this. And I should have listened to them. But ultimately, I had to go through that journey to be successful, but yet see, is this truly what I want to do? So, whatever business we run, we have to really make it our business. And if it doesn't become our business, we can get caught up in so many things that we forget about reality. We forget about really what our true passions are. And then we get stuck in a rut and then get burned out.
Yeah.
And you make a very, very important statement, Neil. You really need to understand your why and your passion and live from that place. Yes, there'll be things as that business owner, as that entrepreneur, that you don't want to do. And that does happen. That happens to all of us. But really remember why you are doing the business, why you have stepped into being who you are on this business path, because you are in service in one way or the other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the next one that we're delving into?
Well, the next one is courage. And courage to me is a big one, because having the courage to step forward, to make that decision, to be bold and audacious, really truly is upping the level in being that naked leader. Because often we push courage aside and we allowed fear to drive our bus. Well, no more. You send fear to the back of the bus and you have courage walking with you every step of the way. And the more the courage walks with you, the more that you actually blossom as well. And people see that and people feel that and people will want to be with you. And that will bring more people into your business. So really, courage is critical.
It is critical. I was reading something just last night about faith and perfect faith. So, this idea of removing doubt and removing fear is what they call perfect faith. And so, if you want to rename perfect faith courage, you could. You literally could take that idea of perfect faith and call it courage, because it's the same thing. It's the courageousness to believe in something bigger than yourself, and that you can. It's the I can story. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
you
love it.
can. You truly can. And having that one, I love what you've said about pure faith or
Perfect faith.
perfect faith. Yes, I mean, really and truly, that is amazing. Oh wow, yes, you could call perfect faith courage, because that really is the same thing.
It
And
is.
yeah, oh, I can just feel the energy from that. Woo!
Totally.
Well, because Neil and I talk about this all the time, and being a small business entrepreneur, you have to level up your faith and your I can story, and believe that you've already received it, because this is not the same game that everyone else is playing. it's a different kind of game. We're playing a different game than everyone else in a way that if you're an entrepreneur, you're playing a different game. And it's not the same game as that, hey, I'm getting a paycheck every month, every week. And you know you're getting that paycheck. It's not that game. It's a different one. So with that different game, we have to play by different rules. And so naked leadership, part of that is like the big courage, especially sitting at the top of the organization, having those different kind of courageous stories you're telling yourself are going to help you move into that next level of success.
Absolutely. Because it, and those steps are one step at a time, but it's also done with courage, with courage. And when you take that step, it's a kind of a solid plant of that step on the ground, and you don't waver because you just know that you are moving forward. You just
Yeah.
know that you are. And that really, yes, perfect
Yeah,
faith and courage. They do. They're intimate partners.
They're
Really.
intimate
and
partners, Carol.
totally. I
Yes.
think and when you believe in what you do and you know you can go and do it and you can do it to your best ability, it's a game changer in so many ways. But again, we don't want to pass the times either. And that's the problem. You constantly have to evolve your business. You constantly have to look in things, confidence, faith that things are going to work out. Absolutely. However, be a little bit of a realist in knowing, hey, maybe I need to tweak what I'm doing. Maybe I need to make changes. That's why you hire a coach like Carol. That's why you hire a coach like Julie. Because if you really think there's no improvement to be made, that's a waste. That's such a waste of your opportunity to grow and develop.
And you make a very good point, Neil, because really and truly, one of the things that for me is now is that there is a constant self-image adjustment, which really is all about growth. And that takes in everything that you just mentioned. I mean, it's not that we get to a certain level and then we stop growing. Absolutely not, because if we want our business to flourish and if we want our services for other, to others, for others to flourish, we do have, it's important we have that self-image adjustment and we check in with who we are. And, whether it's having someone like Neil help you with podcasts and videos and whatever, it really is all about, that real you, that naked leader of just really stepping forward and saying, yes, I can do this. And yep, there'll be issues. Yes, I can do it. It is having that perfect faith. I
Yeah.
love this. Yes.
So and it leads right into the next ingredient, which is determination. And I feel like we've talked about it already, but but it's a different angle. So you need courage and determination. Tell us a little bit about that part of it, Carol.
Well, I will describe determination from that place of yes, you have courage. The determination is to continue to walk, putting one foot in front of the other to really, really discover who you are, really discover that passion that you have in an even bigger way, and to keep moving forward. And where determination came for me was basically when I kind of hit ground zero and looking at who I was in moving myself forward, I discovered that without determination, I wouldn't move forward. So it was, yes, I made the decision. Yes, I had courage as that second point. But quite frankly, then it was determination to keep moving forward, to be curious about what was on the path a month or two or 4 years forward. It really is, it's staying focused and continuing to be clear. And actually, clarity sometimes gets a little mucky, and then it needs, determination to get it back on track. So, determination is really that walking that path and avoiding the potholes and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Love it.
Determination, it requires perseverance, commitment, and it's this idea that you're not going to give up on
Right.
something that's really hard because the journey seems hard. And I think what people don't realize, and I always want to talk about this, is that they think it's going to be about a destination, and it's not. It's about the journey. And so the determination comes in when you stay for the long game. When you start something, you got to realize, like, how long are you in this for? Are you in it for the long game, or are you willing to give up at some point? And so I think if you have that sort of vision in front of you and says, no, I'm in this for the long game, and I'm going to have twists and turns and bumps and bruises, but I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to finish the journey. And so I think that's something that I want people to start thinking about, because I don't know about you guys, but I talk to a lot of people in the middle of their career journey, or people that want to start up entrepreneurial endeavors, and they're not doing well, or they got fired from the job, or they are getting laid off from a job, and they're totally confused. Like, how did this happen to me? And the truth is it happens to everyone. And if it doesn't happen to you, you're like an anomaly. Because I have had many times in my career that I've had to pivot, change, reinvent, all of those things. And so we need to start normalizing this for people. We need to normalize failure. We need to normalize that you're going to lose your job. It's going to potentially happen. But what are you going to do to ready yourself for that opportunity so you can pivot fast, so that you can change, like Neil said before? How do we move and pivot and really like play the game the way that it was meant to play? The game isn't played like straight. It's not a straight line. Like, football's not like that. Soccer's not like that. Like, no game is like that. And so if we look at our careers as a game, in a sense, we can see things differently. We can use a different playbook.
Yes, you can use the playground of life. Absolutely, you can. And I love your statement of, yes, your career is a journey, your business is a journey. And in that journey, it's also an adventure. And that just encapsulates everything that you have said, because you never know just whether there's going to be, a football coming out of left field and somebody's going to tackle you in the right field, or the offensive player forgets.
Yeah.
Who knows? But really and truly, out of all of that, Julie, is how adaptable are you? How open to change are you? Are you willing to um, have your foot step into a mucky pothole as you're on your journey in a, say, on a football field, and somebody forgot to fill in the pothole, or the Gophers came along and made a mess and dug a hole? What are you going to do? And really, that's life.
Yeah,
That
it is
is
like,
life, and life is a journey. There's no destinations. It's all about journey and adventure.
I love that.
Yeah, it totally is. All right. Well, Julie, this is great information today. Carol has given us, right?
I love this. I love talking about this. Carol, what are you doing now? Where can our audience find out more about you?
Your audience can find out more about me by going to my website, which is at carolmetzmurray.com, and you can reach me through my website, and you'll see some of my life stories. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Carol Metzmurray.
All right.
And on my website, there is a free gift if you so wish. It's called the Bunking Courage. So if you go there, you can sign up for the gift.
All right. Thanks again, Carol. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.